This whole situation is on me. I feel terrible for Jerod because I put him in an untenable situation.
Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. He knew the job was his already. They had been talking, that's tampering. You gave Jerod Mayo 1 year. 1 year is not enough time to do anything in the NFL. Nothing at all.
Well, now tuned in to the Dark Times channel.
And so here we go again. Welcome back to the Dark Times channel. And I want to go ahead and dive in, and I want to go ahead and talk about recently fired New England Patriots head coach Jerod Mayo. And a lot of people have questions about his firing, especially after only 1 year.
And the Patriots deserve all the smoke that they're getting today. You saw former tight ends Rob Gronkowski and Ben Watson come out yesterday and say how ridiculous they thought it was that Jerod Mayo was not given a fair shake.
Already, Jerod Mayo out after one season as the Patriots head coach.
I was shocked by that, and to happen that soon was a shocker to a lot of people, especially here at the desk. We were all surprised by that. I think it was unfair to Coach Jerod Mayo. I mean, he had never had the chance to develop as a head coach. He was just a rookie himself in that department. And if you judge a coach by their first year, that's really not appropriate. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, you went 1-15 your first year, and then you won a couple Super Bowls after that. I mean, he really...
Hey, we got to go to break.
All right,
we're going to keep talking about that.
Yeah, we get much more.
And so shout out to Big Rob Gronkowski. They darn near had to hold him back. They had to go ahead and cut his mic and go to commercial because he was spitting straight facts. Because Jerod Mayo never had a chance. And I remember back last year when they first hired Jerod Mayo, I thought it was interesting how they didn't interview anybody else for the job. Because that right there was a red flag for me, because nobody in New England and nobody within the media wanted Jerod Mayo. From his opening press conference, they had a problem with him.
So Jerod Mayo was saying, like, yeah, I'm not going to say that I don't see color, because, like, I do acknowledge that there are people with different races, and if you want to get to know your players, you want to get to know their backgrounds, where they come from, what their experiences are. I thought it was a pretty normal answer to give. And then people were like, I saw Fox News had a headline that was like, woke Patriots head coach will destroy the franchise or something
bringing
like that.
Woke to New England.
So all the Patriots fans that are up there in New England, listening to all the sports talk radio and all that stuff, saying, yeah, we wanted him out, he didn't do anything for us. Why did you hire the guy?
That's the problem.
Why did you hire him? You knew that this year was going to be a struggle. You have the least talented roster in the NFL. You were breaking in a rookie quarterback. Jerod Mayo had a lot of first-timers on his coaching staff. This was an experiment. This was going to be uneven. There was going to be some good, a lot of bad, and sometimes ugly. And the fact that you made Jerod Mayo wear the stink of this season after you figured out the most important piece, which is the quarterback, and ready to position to yourself to hand it to somebody else, like Mike Vrabel or like Brian Flores or one of these candidates that's out there, is absolutely ridiculous. And here's the part that really, really bothers me, and I know people don't want to hear this, people don't want to talk about this, but when you look at black head coaches with respect to their white counterparts, they're not as likely to get a second chance. And so when Robert Kraft comes out and says, we wish Jerod Mayo all the best, and I have no doubt that he's going to be a successful head coach, well, guess what? You made it that much harder for him to be a head coach because he has this on his resume. The 2024 season, which was never going to be good, no matter who was out there. And if you want to sit there and turn around and hire Mike Vrabel or hire Brian Flores after you figured out quarterback, when you could have hired those guys last cycle, it's absolutely unfair to Jerod Mayo. And for all of the benefit of the doubt that we give the Kraft family for how they operate, they deserve every bit of criticism that they're going to get here today. They deserve it. They've earned it because it wasn't right what they did to Jerod Mayo. It wasn't. And he's one of their own.
Was.
After the game, Jerod Mayo was informed he would not be returning as the head coach.
Hey, well, see, now we just talked about this. We just talked about this last night, We just talked about this last night, Mike Vrabel, you put up the goddamn avatar with you in your New England Patriots uniform. You knew what that meant. I told you. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. He knew the job was his already. They had been talking. That's tampering. You gave Jerod Mayo 1 year. 1 year is not enough time to do anything in the NFL. Nothing at all.
And so right after Jerod Mayo got hired by Robert Kraft, I did a video about it. And in the video, I talked about how Robert Kraft was getting up there in age. Already won multiple Super Bowls. One of the winningest franchises in history, especially recent history. And the only thing left for Robert Kraft to do was to break some kind of barrier or to do something that he hasn't done before and to do something that New England hasn't done before. And that's hire its first black head coach.
It's been nearly a quarter of a century since we announced a new head coach. And today I'm happy to welcome you all here as we introduce the 15th head coach of the New England Patriots, Jerod Mayo.
And that's exactly what he did. And it was one of those deals that, looking at it now, it was a bucket list deal. And Jerod Mayo was never going to be there long term because the NFL franchise, especially one like the New England Patriots, doesn't go from never having a so-called black head coach to not even interviewing one and just giving them the job. Where do they do that at?
The question is, that 1 year with those same players, how many games did Coach Belichick win?
Oh, snap.
Those were the same players that Coach Belichick had. They got the 3rd pick in the draft. What draft did they get this year? The 4th pick in the draft. With a lot of the same players, the only difference, they got a quarterback. They drafted a rookie quarterback.
Right, great, yeah. So I have a question. Since Jerod Mayo's leash was so short, being a year, Mike Vrabel comes in. I'm assuming, we're all assuming that Mike Vrabel is going to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. What's going to happen next? How short is his leash going to be?
It ain't going to be 1 year.
Damn, man. That's not, listen, the business has always been the business. The game has always been the game. And when it comes to the business, sometimes the business is dirty.
It is.
And the fact that Jerod Mayo, I think, is not as bad for him. He lives in Foxborough. He was already there. He was under Belichick's tutelage. I was just thinking about for family and circumstances of having to pick up and move and leave and stuff like that. But
man, I'm not leaving in no Foxborough. That man ain't gonna live in no Foxborough. He not the coach.
And so absolutely, no doubt about it. No way Jerod Mayo is going to want to stick around in Foxborough and New England, especially in that crowd. I don't care how long he's been there coaching. That's just not the kind of place you want to be, and y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I think he finds his way out of there, hopefully. And hopefully he can find himself on somebody's coaching staff, either as a defensive coordinator or in another role. And hopefully he can work his way back to put himself in another position to get another head coaching opportunity. He's pretty young. I think he's around 38, 37 years old. And so he's got, a bright future ahead of him. At least he does have some coaching experience under his belt. That's a lot more than, a lot of other coaches can say within the NFL. And then on top of that, they still got to pay him out his contract. And so there's that. And so he's going to be good. His family's going to be good. But it still sucks to see, a head coach like that not get a real shot and a real opportunity to run a team. But then on the other hand, 38 years old, I'll be a token. I'll be that token lame duck coach for $16 million a year. I'll be that. And so you can't feel too bad for him. But nevertheless, like I said, hopefully he'll get another opportunity to go ahead and coach again down the future. But you guys go ahead and let me know how y'all feel on this particular subject. And as usual, peace and chaos.